Welcome back, everyone, to another live video here on the Damage Report. I'm John Iadarola, and when we go to our full show, which is going to happen in less than a half an hour, we're, of course, going to go through the latest developments in the whole Iran situation, last night's strikes, and also Donald Trump's comments earlier today. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about ignorance and some of the bad consequences of it. So we've talked recently about how little Donald Trump knows about Iran, how much he knew about Soleimani, the Quds Force, all of that, his undefeatable ignorance and lack of curiosity about the world that he would have a lot of power to affect. And that's bad. But the thing is, we're all pretty ignorant. And I found an amazing bit of evidence of that. Now, look, Donald Trump's the president. We're not. He needs to know this stuff in a way that we don't. Even I, a person in the news, don't need to know at the same level that he does, let alone a regular person. But that said, let's talk a little bit about Iran and what the American people know about it. Now, before I get into this evidence, understand that Iran has been an important, country in the world for decades and decades. From the point of view of Americans, I mean, it's something that's regularly been in the news for as long as most Americans have been alive. Over the past 10 years or so, we've obviously had a lot of back and forth between whichever administration is in power here and Iran, the whole nuclear deal, and multiple incidents over the past year involving Donald Trump. So this is something that has been in the news a ton. That said, Morning Consult tried, they got a couple hundred people, I think it was, and they tried to see if they could spot it on a map, and only 28% actually got it. Now, you're probably not going to be able to see much of this, but hopefully what you can see is that this is an area, this is the region, and each of those dots is a different guess as to where Iran actually is, zoomed in. And you can see that it is almost evenly distributed across the region. Now, 28% did get Iran, and there are some who got Iraq, and that's close, that's pretty good, I guess. But then throughout Algeria and Libya, Egypt, Sudan, down into Ethiopia, over to India, up in Kazakhstan, France, could be Iran, maybe. Lots of people think that. And again, we got to balance the two things. Regular Americans don't need to know exactly where Iran is, I guess. They don't need to. It's not necessary for our jobs. But it has been in the news, and a lot of Americans are supportive of military action against Iran. We're supportive of the strike against Soleimani. Think that, expanding our forces in the Middle East and potentially getting into a war with Iran would be acceptable. Even as I got into yesterday on the live video, they believe that a nuclear strike against this country would be acceptable, but they don't even know where it is. They have no idea what its relationship is with its neighbors because they don't know what its neighbors are. And that's the vast majority of the American public. But here's the thing. What I just showed you, that's bad. But it's not the worst, because that was the region at least. So this is the world map. This is all of the world. And as you can see, the dots are spread across the entirety of the surface of the earth. And not just the land, by the way. There are a number of people that think that Iran is, I don't know, the lost civilization of Atlantis. They put their dot right in the ocean. Some people believe that it's where I think the island that Jurassic Park was set on. One person thought that that was Iran. A lot of people seem to think that Iran is in Australia. I know that our minds are definitely with the Australian people right now, considering the fires they're dealing with, but I don't think that Iran is suffering from those fires. A lot of people seem to think, I'm counting maybe 14 or 15 people, think that Iran is in Greenland. They've been in the news recently too, but not for anything having to do with this. Okay, really fast, because we've got even a little bit worse than that. If you haven't already clicked the like button, please do that. It'd be very important, because I think this is important. Now, I wanna be very clear here about the level of ignorance that we're seeing. There are a significant number of people that think that Iran is in the United States. Is it 15 people? 15 people think that it's somewhere in the middle of our country. Now, I know that, we don't necessarily know our own geography very well in America. It's like a flyover state, but you're not flying over Iran. You're just not. A lot of people think it's in America. Okay, here's the thing. Now, I understand that the response from some people, and I'm seeing some right here, saying, oh, they're just trolling. But that's almost as bad. So I am not comfortable with us going to war when the vast majority of the American people have no idea anything about the country they're going to war with. But I would say that if we think that potential war with this country is like a joke and we should troll scientists about it, I'm even less comfortable with us going to war because obviously we as a people are not responsible or mature enough to be engaged in anything like that. If we can't take a poll seriously, I would argue we can't take war seriously. It's freaking embarrassing. It's not in Russia. It's not in Russia. It's not the former Soviet Republic of Iran. It's not in Canada. Okay? It's not a Canadian province. It really isn't. I know that a lot of Americans are scared of Central and South America, but it's not in Brazil. It's a different part of the world. And like, okay, maybe some of these people are trolling, but it's everywhere. They think it's in South Africa. They think it's in Madagascar. Hey, maybe near New Zealand. Okay? Now, I know it's not any of those things. We as a people, we don't know anything about anything. And okay, some people are trolling or whatever, and geography is not the most important thing in the world, but like this same sort of ignorance, you don't think that that's also like in terms of our knowledge of history or political science, our knowledge of past military conflicts and the consequences of them. Like this sort of ignorance is consequential. And maybe this conflict, maybe the brakes have been hit on it. It looks like maybe, based on the speech today, which Jared and I will break down more, that might be the case. But it is far from a guarantee. And if Donald Trump does decide to go to war, he's going to get a lot of support from a gigantic chunk of the American people that don't know anything about that country, its people, our relationship with it, their history, our shared history, any of it. They won't have anything. Somebody's pointing out, wonder how many can find Vietnam. Probably not that many. I think a couple of years ago, Morning Consult did the same sort of poll in regards to North Korea, and it was only 32% could find North Korea. That's got to be easier. There's only a few countries over in that part of the map. And I got news for you. It's north of the south one. That's a big clue right there. But there were probably people that think it's in Florida. I think it's close to Tampa. I don't know. But we should still nuke it, definitely. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. What does trolling even mean anymore? It's used as an excuse for literally everything at this point. Okay, so I only have a couple of minutes because I do still have to prep for the show, but I would like to know, before we do the full show, and we are going to be talking about Trump's address, any reactions from those of you watching this? What did you think about it? Do you feel a little bit better as a result of what Donald Trump struggled to say? What do you think? I may have a sore throat. I got news for you. I do have a sore throat. It's sore because Iran is in my throat, and like 10 Americans think it's in my throat. So far, the two responses saying no. I still want to move to Mexico. Beautiful country, great history. Middle East means the middle of the left part. Okay. Cleanse, welcome to the live feed. Hot tea with honey and lemon. I did have a lot of that yesterday. I probably will have more of that now, but I needed to heavily caffeinate to wake up because I woke up with like the quality of sleep that only NyQuil can give you. I did not wake up feeling good. It's like it puts you to sleep, but your sleep is worthless, by the way. Okay. Okay, looks like there's still a lot of concern out there. And I certainly share that. Yeah, a lot of concern, I'm going to say. I haven't talked to JR about it yet, so I don't know what he makes of it. But like I said, JR's going to be joining me. We're going to be talking about what happened last night, what happened this morning. We're also going to have Tech Dave. Yes, we're going to talk about the plane crash as well. And we have a couple of people fundraising for those affected by the bushfires in Australia who have received some strike back from social media because of their fundraising. We're going to have that. Also, Eric Byler, he's been in Australia, and so he's going to be Skyping and telling us about the experience of being there during these fires. What was that? JR should host, John go take a sick day. No, I mean, him being here gives me at least a little bit of a sick day, but I'm not taking a sick day. I'm doing this show, then I'm doing both hours of the main show, and then the conversation and all that. So it's gonna be a long, full day. There's gonna be nothing left of my voice. I'm gonna croak through Thursday's show, I think. I don't know. Okay, well, thank you to everybody who hit the like button. I definitely do like that. Getting above 500, that's not bad. Appreciate the effort. Thank you. But I do have to run because we got less than 15 minutes until the show actually goes. So I'm going to go prep. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow there will be another live video. So if I don't see you on the full show, definitely come back for that. I'll see you soon.